Hi everyone, my name is Amber, welcome back to my channel. This is my December TBR. So I am being very ambitious in December. I'm not only doing Bookmas/Vlogmas, I'm also hoping to post every day or at least every other day on my vlog, and I also want to read a ton of books, so we'll see how I do at the end of the month. For now we're only here for the books, so I'm going to start off with the books I currently own, particularly the ones that I bought this year and I do definitely need to read as part of my challenge. So starting off we have The Unbroken, which I bought I think in March when it came out, April maybe. I'm buddy reading this one with my friend Nikki starting from tomorrow as you're watching this, I believe. I don't know if we're going to read like a set amount of pages a day or something, I don't know. This is about a soldier and a turncoat, maybe a smuggler, I'm not entirely sure. It says here that there are assassinations, massacres, and I think it's kind of a political fantasy inspired by North African mythology. So I'm very much looking forward to reading this one. I've been meaning to read it all year, which is why Nikki and I are finally picking it up now. This was also a book club pick for Space Sirens, at least I think it was. So I should have read it by now, but I didn't have time to get around to it. I think I was going through some stuff when we chose this one. I'm very much looking forward to this one. I'm hoping to give it at least 4 stars. I think this is going to be one that I really do enjoy, so I'm going into it with high expectations. Next we have The Stationery Shop of Tehran. I don't know what exactly this one is, and I also hate this sticker. I'm gonna have to try to peel that off. It says here that it's set in 1953. The main character works in a stationery shop. Her relationship with someone else blossoms, and then life in Tehran is also changing. I've been really enjoying reading books set in different countries to the UK or the US this year. I'm hoping to continue that challenge or those preferences into 2022 as well, but I'm going to be reading this one this year because it's one that I bought this year too. I also got this one from the charity shop, and that's The Calculating Stars. I know that this one has very mixed reviews. I'm not entirely sure why though. I think this is a sci-fi book. I think a meteorite hits Earth in 1952. Oh, this one's set in 1952. And then that one's set in 1953. Interesting. I know that my friend Kayla enjoyed this one, I believe, or at least I think she owns it because it's on her bookshelf. I've seen it behind her. And I think it's about women trying to solve a apocalyptic issue that's hit Earth. So yeah, looking forward to reading this one, and it's one that I'm going to hopefully prioritize. I also want to prioritize This Mortal Coil. This is the first book in a YA fantasy, no, sci-fi trilogy. I know that my friend Judith enjoys this trilogy, I think. I've been meaning to read this for ages. I received it as an advanced reader's copy when it first came out, and I still haven't read it. It says here that the main character's father was the world's leading geneticist and there was a virus. I personally don't mind reading books about viruses at this point in my life. I know a lot of people might not like to at the moment, but I'm fine with it, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. I'm hoping it's going to be fast paced, and I'm hoping I'm going to enjoy it so I can carry on with the trilogy. Then we have Goldilocks, which is another sci-fi book. It's very short. I don't know what it's about, but Justine enjoyed this one, I think. We have The Only Good Indians, which is a horror book written by a Native American author, and it's about a group of men who killed an elk back in the day and now they're being haunted by some spirits. I've heard that it's very gruesome. I'm looking forward to reading it. I wish I had gotten to this in October, but I just didn't have time. And then finally, for the books that I already own, as in books that I bought this year that I already own. I also have some other books that I already own, obviously. I've got NW by Zadie Smith. This is about 4 people who grew up in London in poverty, I think, and they have gone their separate ways, and I think they come back together and it talks about their lives. So I think it's like a contemporary literary fiction type of book. This will be my first Zadie Smith book, so looking forward to reading that one. These are the final ones that I bought this year and I have to read by the end of the year, otherwise I will have failed my challenge. I speak more about my Zero TBR challenge in another video, or 2 other videos, so I'll link those up above and down below if you want to check those out. Let's get on to some of the other books because there are more. Like I said, I'm being ambitious. Then I have some library books that I am hoping to read. There are only 3 of them, so it's not so bad. The first one is Turning the Tide on Plastic. I was considering reading this in November, but I just didn't get around to it. This is non-fiction about cleaning up the earth, I believe, and something that I'm quite passionate about, so I thought I would pick it up when I saw it. Not a Happy Family by Shari Lapina. So I've read all of her books so far. They're either thrillers or they're mysteries, and some of them are a little bit more slow-paced than others and not as good, but this one I'm looking forward to reading. It says here that it's fast-paced, and I have heard that it's more of a mystery than a thriller. I don't read synopses for thrillers, so I don't actually know what this one's about. It says here that it's about rich people. I hope you all enjoyed that catch. It says here that it's about rich people and their drama, so that's something I always enjoy reading about. I'm gonna have to be propped up by throwing a glass. And then my final library book is The Prophets, which is historical fiction. It's set in the Deep South and it's about 2 black men who are also gay. I don't know anything about the plot itself, but it's received very good reviews, and I think this is actually a debut book for this year, so I think it's fantastic that it's getting so many good reviews as well. So I do want to read this one really badly, but it might roll into January. Next, I'm going to be doing some rereading as part of a book club and part of like my mood reading, I don't know, thing that I'm apparently doing. First of all, I'm going to be rereading Thunderhead as part of the Last Read book club pick. This one is the second book in the Scythe trilogy, which I absolutely love, but I don't actually own yet. I own the first book now, but I don't own the rest of the trilogy, even though I did really enjoy them. I read them from the library, so I'm using this as an excuse to buy them and reread them and discuss them with everyone. Everyone in the book club is really enjoying the discussion so far because they're so philosophical. There are some very good questions in there that we can discuss, so that's good. And then the next ones that I might reread if I'm in the mood for them, which I currently am, but I might not be later on in the month, are Charlene Harris's Grave something books. I don't know what this series is actually called, but I read them when I was a lot younger and I never actually read the fourth book. So I have read the first one, which I think is Grave Sight, twice, and I have recapped this one for Recaptains, so I don't have to reread this one necessarily. It's about a main character called Harper Connolly. I know it sounds a lot like Harper Collins, I think that was probably on purpose, and she got struck by a lightning bolt, which is just typical for paranormal romance or urban fantasy from like this era. And she gained special powers. She's able to find dead people, which is really cool. It creates some really good mystery plots. And I think this is probably one of the first thriller books that I read that was also a little bit like paranormal or fantasy-esque. So I really loved this series when I was younger. I remember it included a step sibling relationship, and I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about that now because I really enjoyed it at the time, but now I'm not so sure, so we'll see. But this is the first one, and then I think the second one is maybe An Ice Cold Grave, and the third one is Grave Surprise, I think. Whichever order they go in, they follow different cases and missing people, and Harper Connolly starts to become kind of infamous because people start to hear about her strange powers, and she has to kind of justify herself because no one really believes that she can do it, that she doesn't have the ability to solve the cases, which is really rude, to be honest, because she solved so many. But I'm really looking forward to rereading these at some point. I would love to get started in December because I'm really in the mood for these. Now that I'm talking about them and I'm thinking about rereading them, I'm kind of in the mood to read Gravesight right now after I finish this video, so maybe this will be in my November wrap up tomorrow. Ready for Bookmas? I also need to get my hands on the fourth book, but I think I might see if it's available in the library because I think once I've read these I'm probably going to unhaul them unless I love them this third or second time around. Not sure, they might be ones I end up keeping. Another reread that I'm considering is Where You Are by Tamara Webber. I reread the first book in this series earlier this year to recap it for Recaptains, and I then unhauled it, so this might be another situation where I read this and then get rid of it once I have written a recap. So this is a new adult, I would say contemporary romance book, and it's kind of set in the Hollywood acting world. I don't really remember much of the plots. There's a lot of drama, a lot of acting drama, and I quite like reading books about famous people, so this series really appealed to me back in the day. I think I gave this one 4 stars originally, so I'll be interested to know if I still really enjoy it. I gave the first book, Between the Lines, 3 stars upon a reread, but 4 stars to begin with, I think, so my enjoyment has kind of lowered a little bit since I originally read them, and I don't think they've aged particularly well, but we'll see. And then finally we have some Netgalley books that I need to get to because I have been neglecting my Netgalley shelf when it comes to reading them, but I have been also requesting a lot of Netgalley books. So I've been approved for a bunch of 2022 releases, more for me because I have so many books to read. So let me just get the ones that I have coming out in December and January up here. There aren't actually too many, to be honest, and most of these are thrillers, so they're ones that I'm definitely going to blast through. So first of all we have Her Perfect Twin, no idea what it's about because it's a thriller. We have The Maid, which sounds really good. Well, it did when I first requested it, but I can't remember what it's about. We have Dead Silence, which I believe is a science fiction thriller, and I thought this was coming out this year, but it's actually not. It's coming out in 2022. And oh, is that it for January? I thought I had another book. Maybe I've already read it. So those are 3 Netgalley books that I'm going to try my hardest to get to, but they're not coming out until towards the end of January, so I'm not sure if I'm going to kind of stress myself out. Then I have a lot of books for February and March at the moment. I might give The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley a go because she's an author that I really enjoy. If I'm in the mood and I want a book that I think I'm going to really love, I might give that one a go. Otherwise, I'm going to maybe do some mood reading. Amongst all of this, I'm not sure. I might try Caliban's War by James S.A. Corey, which is the second book in the Expanse series, but that's quite a chunky one, so I don't know. I also need to read a couple of non-fiction books for my true crime series because that's coming back with a vengeance next year. I've got so many videos planned. I just need to read the books first, so maybe I'll fit a couple of those in. We will see. I'm very excited for December because I have so many days off work. I think I am only working a total of 8 days or something, maybe 9-10 days holidays in December and I'm so happy. I cannot wait to have some more time off work to do Bookmas, which, have I mentioned I'm doing Bookmas, and also just to chill, because the last quarter of the year at my company is always really busy, and it's also busier for me and more stressful because I'm in a new role and Quill's also in a new job at the moment, so I need some time to sit back and relax and read. Let me know in the comments below what your December TBR is looking like. Are you being ambitious, or are you kind of mood reading? Let me know if you've read any of these books in the comments below and if you think I will enjoy them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Bye!